Okay, multiplying with surds then. I've got 2 root 5 multiplied by root 6. 2 root 5 means 2 multiplied by root 5 and then multiplied by root 6. So I can rewrite that question if I want to. 2 multiplied by root 5 multiplied by root 6. That's what it means. That's just a question rewritten. Now, you can do multiplication in whatever order you want. Here, it's easier to deal with these square roots first. So I'm going to ignore that 2 and just rewrite it. But root 5 multiplied by root 6 can be written as the square root of 5 times 6. So this is doing backwards what we did when we were simplifying surds. If I had the square root of 30, I would have written as the square root of 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30, as I have alluded to. So that gives me 2 multiplied by the square root of 30. But I don't really like to write the multiplication sign if I can avoid it. So I can write that as 2 root 30. And that is my answer. So pause the video, have a go at your turn, and then come back and I'll tell you the answer. Hello there, welcome back. 2 root 5 multiplied by root 7 is the problem that you should have solved. It can be written as 2 multiplied by root 5 and then multiplied by root 7, which can then be written as 2 multiplied by the square root of 5 times 7, which becomes 2 multiplied by the square root of 35, which is 2 root 35. And I think that you would have all got that. Beautiful. Okay. There are questions like that on the Hegarty Maths that I've set you. Further on in the exercise though, there are also questions like this. So have a look at this. 3 root 3 multiplied by 2 root 6. Now on the surface it's the same thing. I'm going to rewrite that as 3 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by root 6. Now, as I said before, you can do multiplication in whatever order you want. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. So I can write this as 3 times 2, that's taking the integers, the whole numbers, and then the square root parts. So that's the same question, just written in a slightly different form. Well, I think that you know that 3 times 2 is 6, I hope you do. And as we did before, the square root of 3 multiplied by the square root of 6 is the same as the square root of 3 times 6. So that's the same as 6 multiplied by the square root of 18. But you might be saying to yourselves at this point, the answer then is 6 root 18. You might very well think that. I couldn't possibly comment, except that I will, because the square root of 18 we can rewrite. Because think about the number 18. 18 will split into 1 multiplied by 18, or 2 multiplied by 9, or 3 multiplied by 6. And I can see that this factor pair here includes a square number. So in actual fact, the square root of 18 becomes, let me just see if I can slide that up a little, yes I can, becomes, just let me do that. There we go. The square root of 18 is going to become now the square root of 9 times 2, which is the square root of 9 multiplied by the square root of 2. The square root of 9 is 3, so it's 3 root 2. That's what the square root of 18 is equal to. And so here, where it says the square root of 18, I'm now going to write 3 root 2. Remember, that means 3 times root 2, though. So, I now get 6 multiplied by 3 multiplied by root 2. Now, 6 times 3 is 18. And so that becomes 18 root 2. So, oops, a daisy. So there's a little bit more work involved in a question like that. And of course, you've got to be able to spot that 18 is not simplified. Now you might get down to 6 root 18, you might say, well, that's an answer. But you should realise, hopefully, that 18 is not a surd. And think about your factor pairs and that'll get you to it. So it's like doing it and then doing it again almost. Pause the video and have a go at 3 root 3 multiplied by 2 root 8. And then come back and I'll show you what you should have done. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to rewrite this as 3 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by root 8. And I don't like that so much, so I'm going to rewrite it as 3 times 2 times root 3 times root 8, and that's just putting the integers together and then putting the square roots together. 3 2s are 6, and this becomes the square root of 3 times 8, so I get 6 times the square root of 24. And again, you might think the answer is 6 root 24. Except you might then say, well, 24, if I think about the factor pairs of 24, well, I get 1 with 24, of course I do, but then I've got 2 with 12, not that helpful yet. 3 with 8, no. 4 with 6, I like, because 4 is a square number. And so I can write the square root of 24 as the square root of 4 times 6, which is the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 6, which is 2 multiplied by the square root of 6. So that's what the square root of 24 equals. Then that comes in here, and you end up with 6 multiplied by, instead of multiplied by the square root of 24, it's now multiplied by 2 multiplied by root 6, because that's what we said the square root of 24 was. 6 2s are 12, and I get 12 times root 6, and if I want to be super clean, I'll write it like that. So 12 root 6 is the answer to this little poser. 3 root 3 multiplied by 2 root 8. Now the more of these you do, the quicker you'll get, because for example, you will spot the square root of 24 thing as being 6 fours without writing the factor pairs down eventually, but that comes with experience, so don't worry about it yet. So there's a Hegarty Maths exercise for you to try. You can watch this video as many times as you like. You can also get in touch with me if you need to. Enjoy.